talking about, yeah. Ooh, so sit back, take a seat, and you gon' have to pardon my peace. Tell me how you like it, I know you excited, you gon' have to pardon my peace. You know we be vibing, all of you invited, we gon' get it pardon my peace. It's where you need to be, we got the latest tea, don't get this game for free, yeah. We just speaking the truth, so sit back, take a seat, and you gon' have to pardon my peace.
Thank you guys for joining us.
Hello.
You're just gonna cut me off.
Because you're ridiculous.
She came in like, hello.
Welcome.
Hi, and welcome to Pardon My Peace. I'm Shay.
And I'm Danielle.
We're so excited to be back with you guys. So
it's been a minute. And for everybody who's been there from the beginning, thank you for rocking with us. We love you.
We really do. We appreciate you guys.
Appreciate the love.
And today we want to talk about, do you guys think that it is our job as women to fix a broken man? Mm-hmm. And just to start, this is not a bash to any man, any person at all. It's just a topic that came across that someone wanted us to talk about. So we want to talk about it.
And I think it's really the topic in general. I think it applies to either or.
Yeah, woman and
man. Is a
man.
man responsible for fixing a woman
too,
or is a woman responsible fixing a man? We only have a woman's perspective.
Yeah.
So, but I really do feel like everything we talk about is a little
of both.
Yeah, like it applies to both sides.
Absolutely. It's definitely not one-sided, and it shouldn't be one-sided because it takes two in any type of relationship.
Exactly.
The topic is like, are we responsible for each other's mental health? Are we responsible to fix each other? I don't know if I would use the word I need you to fix me, because I feel like in some capacity I should already come pretty much healed and fixed and prepared, especially if I'm wanting to be in a relationship, in a marriage. I'm an adult, I'm more mature, I'm older, so it's like I look at things like that as intentionality. So I want to be fixed. I want to be ready for that man. I don't want to bring in my baggage and my issues and my traumas into my relationship, vice versa. I wouldn't want him to do that. However, us being together as a partnership, I think there are and will be things as we grow and navigate life that we can work on together, not necessarily having to fix each other, like screw each other in, but like, because I love you, these are the things that I'm seeing that you could work on. Because you love me, these are things that I'm seeing that I don't really like about you or for you that you can work on. Let's do it together. Let's hold each other accountable because we love each other. Not necessarily trying to fix. And it goes all the way to therapy or whatever the case is that we can agree upon doing, depending on the level of what we need fixed.
But what about before you get to the I love you part? And that's what in the relationship, because that's where more I'm saying the expectation is more on the woman to make concessions for the man rather than the other way around. Because if I feel like women are sometimes expected to be okay with taking on the project of the man. Like it's more acceptable for a man to come into a relationship, and I'm just talking about the first few dates when you're seeing red flags.
Okay, yeah.
Women are like, well, you know, we can. If a woman is actually like, you need some work and call me when you're better. Yeah. Then they get listed as like this, well, your expectations are just so high and so unrealistic.
Oh, I see what you're
kind
saying.
Of a thing. Rather than a man who is meeting a woman and is like, oh my gosh, she's so clingy, I'm out. Yeah. But that's the same kind of energy that you can get. And if a man says that, then it's like, yeah. But if a woman is like, ooh, he doesn't communicate enough, I'm out, then it's like, well, you know, maybe you just need to give him some time.
Yeah. I can say, just because I'm a woman, being a woman and being in my body and the experience and what I see around me with other women, and I'm not saying all women, but I think we just naturally are like that.
But is that a good thing?
It doesn't make it okay. I'm just saying, like, I almost feel like God made us that way. We're natural, nurturing people. We're naturally people who we forgive easier and more. And I'm not saying every woman is like this, but I'm just saying overall, like in the world, like
general
women
consensus.
women are like that. And
Yeah.
they're easy to be like, I'm going to give him a second chance and a third chance. I believe in him and I'm going to help him get to where he needs to get. Why we're like that I can't really answer.
And should women be like that?
Should women be like that?
Because I feel like
it just depends.
I say no. See, from my perspective, if I was mentoring a woman who is single, I would be like, red flag, be out. Because the other part of it is that when a woman wants to help a man improve his emotional intelligence, because that's really what it comes down to, emotional intelligence. If a woman is like, his emotional IQ can go up if I give him time. Men don't really see that that's even important. But if a man is like, you're too fill in the blank, a woman is more inclined to be like, you know what, I need to get better. I need to, even the idea of a woman's going to be quicker to go to therapy than a man is.
Absolutely.
For the most part.
Absolutely.
So it's like, I feel like it should be the other way around.
Yeah, I feel like it also should be too. And I say that even if we go back to God, the foundation. Men are our leaders, men are our protectors, men are our providers.
Should be.
And they should make us feel safe, sound, secure, loved, protected, like all of the things. So with all those things being said, you would think, hey, because I'm this, God is my leader and this is who I believe and trust and this is who I follow, then if there's things in me that I see and that discernment wise or that he's shown me about myself, I should fix them, one, for him, myself, but for my relationship.
Yes. So
for
that
my
I
spouse,
can be
for my girlfriend,
covering.
for my fiance, so that I can cover.
I can't be broken and cover somebody.
I can't. You literally can't.
You literally
and I'm even
can't.
learning that more too. And I literally, like, just being very naked. I'm like, sometimes I'm like, God, is something wrong with me? Because, and what I mean by that is when I say, like, I'm a single woman, so I'm open to dating. I date, go on dates, I get to know guys, and they show me all they're there. Ooh, they got a lot of trauma. I can't even get the words out. I'm like, whoa, and I say that because I'm like, whoa, you're 40 years old, or you're certain years old, and you still it blows me away.
Exactly.
I'm like, there's no need to lie about this. And it's like I'm telling myself, I'm like, I don't deserve this, but I also look at myself because I know I'm not, and I'm like, God, like I'm like really asking, like, God, what's wrong with me? Being older, and it's not as easy for me to just jump into a relationship because of those things. I'm like, I didn't wait this long and fix myself, and I'm continuously working on myself to settle for a boy.
Yes. And I feel like more often than not,
I'd rather be single.
A woman is going to be like, just like you're asking yourself, like, what's wrong with me? But
men don't do that.
Men don't do that. I mean, they
scared of that.
Not all men, obviously.
Yeah.
But the self-awareness and the expectation of self-awareness is lower when it comes to a man than it does to a woman. And I don't think that's okay. And I think that's where the idea of having to fix or being willing to fix a man comes from.
Exactly.
That idea of like, well, I've got it together. I just need to give him time. Or maybe he needs a little help or a little guidance. And it's like, you're setting yourself up for failure. Yeah,
and I feel like how we are women, whether it's therapy or we're coming to our friends, we communicate with each other. We give each other advice. But you don't often hear about men going to other men for advice, whether it's their pastor or their guy friends who they trust and know that would give them the advice that they need and not sugarcoat it and be honest because they love them. But sometimes men they have this pride and ego about them that blocks their heart from being able to even receive and heal and work on themselves. Because I will say it's not easy, but it's also not hard to face your trauma, your wrongs, to fix, to heal yourself, because it's only going to make you better.
Yes. And it's really, speaking of biblical, it's also, I feel like even in the church, it's the same expectation, because I have heard about the Proverbs 31 woman way too often. But I've never heard a pastor talk about the Proverbs 31 man.
The way she whispered that.
Like, we have all this list of expectations of a woman, and not even just a man on a woman, but a woman on a woman. Like, we got groups. We're going to turn into the Proverbs 31 woman, but nowhere in that group does it talk about how the Proverbs 31 man is a prince. He is nobility. He has wealth. She is doing all of those things, waking in the morning, not to work extra hard in physical labor, but to manage her house. Because she has people working for her, and it talks about that. She has the money to go out and buy land. She has the resources to wear the finest purple linens. Let's be historical about it. Only the rich wore purple. Only the wealthy wore purple. And it specifically says that in Proverbs 31. So why, and I've asked this question to so many people, especially older women, because it's usually the older women that I hear talking more so about being a Proverbs 31 woman and waking up when it's still night outside to cover your home. But
I don't want my man to wake up to and cover the home with me. I would rather see, that's what I'm saying, the head of protection.
Yes.
You are the head of me. You lead, you go first, and I'm gonna follow. And I have to. Well, I wouldn't be with men if I didn't trust that he could lead me, first of all. But that's sexy. A man that wakes up to cover his home and his wife. I shouldn't be waking up to cover the home. We both should. Yes. I'm not even saying one should go for the other, but you're the head, and we should do that together. You should wake me. Let's cover our home.
Yes,
we're partners.
We are partners.
I am from your rib.
Exactly. But when women, Proverbs 31 or not, are like, I really need someone who has it together financially, then we gold diggers. Then we gold diggers, we out there for the wrong thing. But what about love? Well, why are we talking about what about love and being a Proverbs 31 woman in the same conference? Because the Proverbs 31 woman, it don't say anything about her loving him.
No, it doesn't.
In Ephesians, this is the Christian Standard Bible, because we like to talk about the Proverbs 31 woman all the time. But God calls a man to love his wife like Christ loves the church, but nowhere in Ephesians 5 does it give women the responsibility to love their husband. So, why are we looking at women like something's wrong with them because they have a checklist? They want a man to be financially stable, a man to have enough wealth to take care of her. And it's like, well, why don't you just love him through it? Well, God didn't call me to love him through it. God did not.
That's a good point.
The word didn't call me to do that.
Like that men think that women are gold diggers for, I guess, various reasons, or I guess it's more of a financial thing when it comes to money. I remember, I don't remember who said it, some guy, I don't know if it was a pastor or somebody, a speaker, but he goes, no, men, you need to know that women aren't considered gold diggers for those things that they want. What it's showing is the lack of you in you, that you don't have your stuff together, that you are not providing, that you are not doing all these X, Y, and Z things. You're insecure in these areas, because why in any way do you think a woman is considered a gold digger because she wants these things, she deserves these things, the things that she does for you, the things that she gives for you, children, making a house a home, making groceries a meal, like the things that she does. And when we're speaking of this, let's be clear, we're not just talking about any chick, we're talking about a woman.
Yes, because it goes both
a wife
ways.
Yeah, it's not just
men be marrying little girls too, and
expecting, I don't know, and they marry, sometimes they marry or want to be in relationship with a certain type of woman because it makes them feel better, because they're younger, they're more vibrant, they have fun with these girls, so they don't mind putting whatever money,
putting responsibility aside, putting her ability to nurture and care aside because she looks good,
because she's prettier.
That's when a man is not responsible for fixing her, because if she wants to be a child, then let her be a child. I just feel like in general we need to honor people where they are. So there's nothing wrong with maybe a man not being financially stable, but having a plan that he's actually executing. Not just this idea like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be a millionaire in 5 years because I'm taking this class online. Well, I'm gonna need more details.
I mean, like, well, I love that idea. How are we gonna do that?
How is that happening?
Like, what do we need to do? Do you already have the plan, the vision? Do you have it written out? Do you have someone working to help you in those areas that you need? Like,
the older we get, the higher the expectation should be. Because you shouldn't be talking about, I have a plan to become a millionaire and you're 55. Like, what have you been doing for 55 years? Or let's just call it 35 years since you were 20. What have you been doing? Why are you waiting until now? Like, I feel like the older you are, the less of a gold digger you are, because the expectations need to be equivalent to where you are in age. Like, if I'm 25 and I'm marrying or getting into a relationship with a 25-year-old or a 26-year-old, okay, you just got out of college, but you have a plan that you're going to execute, and I can help you execute that plan, because that's what women are naturally able to do. We're able to assist. We're able to. We have the knowledge, support. Exactly.
That's why I said groceries, meal, house, home. Like, we got you.
Yes.
We got you.
But you gotta have something to get.
You gotta come with something. I need a foundation. I need the bread to start rising.
Yes.
So we can put it in the oven and cook it.
Yes.
Then after that, we can cut it and feast together. Add a little butter.
Exactly, and I'll even make the butter.
Right? Make it from scratch, and the bread.
But in order to have the time to do those things,
come on, let's talk about it.
I can't be you want me to be have a full-time job, assist you in gaining the knowledge of emotional intelligence, teach you how to communicate, teach you how to care, nurture, be the covering, and also help you with your business plan?
Yeah. That's, if I'm being honest, that's quite what it has been for some time. And again, this isn't every man.
No, but that is bananas for even if it was a few men, that is the
average
bananas.
Man, that's the average man.
I feel like it's the average
man.
Is. I'm not in the dating world, but I do feel like that is the average man. And that is not okay, especially with, I don't know if I've talked about this before, but it is blaring in my mind constantly because I was so irritated by it. This little boy, black boy, on Instagram talking about how my woman has no right to ask me where I am, where I'm gonna be, and she needs to tell me where she is, but she better not go asking me where I'm gonna be. Say what now?
Yeah, I also think sometimes people just do that for
I hope that was just for likes, but
and
I
views.
definitely believe, because there's a whole society,
But it is
of
2025.
boys, exactly,
So.
2025, and there's a bunch of boys out there thinking that women are property, and are real quick to put a label on a woman, but don't look at themselves in the mirror.
Yeah, I oftentimes look myself in the mirror, and I'm like, Shay, you no good. You need to work on this. No, I'm just kidding. Shay, you are everything.
Yes.
But there are things you can work on. And a lot of times I find out a lot of things about myself that I need to work on or improve on is through my friends and my family.
And
like, they point out things in me, and I'm like, and it can sting, and that's okay. It's not supposed to not sting.
Yes.
But I literally, and when I hear things about myself or people tell me, I love when my friends correct me, but I don't wait a long time. I fix it immediately. And then it becomes like something that I'm aware of, and I'm like, okay, wait, no. Okay. So it's like,
but if a man doesn't have emotional intelligence, then he's not even communicating with other people and accepting that advice, because that takes emotional intelligence.
Absolutely.
It takes emotional intelligence for someone, any gender, to be able to take constructive criticism, to be able to be open and honest enough about what's actually going on in their life for someone to give constructive criticism. If you don't have that, then where are you even starting from? And I think that that's part of the problem, that men expect that process to start when they meet their person, their woman. And it's like, no, honey, you should have been working on this before you met me.
Exactly, because as a man, if you are preparing yourself for your helpmate, which men, please have your high standards too. I love a man that has high standards and know he's the stuff and knows what he brings to the table and looks at himself as a prize as well. Because then that's what you attract as well. That's what your mindset wants. You don't just want a woman's physicality because she's pretty. You want to really fall in love with her mind and her heart and who she is, how she is with her family, her background. Like, genuinely get to know who she is. This is a person who you're going to be with forever when you're making those type of commitments. So it's the long haul. Again, it goes back to intentionality. But I think men should do the same thing that women do. Like, take your time. What's the rush?
Be honest.
And it doesn't take
naked
that long. If you are ready to be with someone and settle down because you've done the work and you ready, be confident. Go out there and get her. That's why when men be like, Shay, it's easier for you guys to get a man than it is for us. I'm like, no, I disagree. And let me tell you why. Because naturally, most of the time, you're going to see a man approach a woman more than a woman approach a man. I don't have a problem with approaching a man, but I'd rather him approach me. But I don't have a problem approaching, especially if I see something that I may not ever see again and I can feel something, I will approach. Doesn't happen often, but hey. So if you approaching me, that means, and I think what it is it should build a lot of strength and confidence in you guys, because men do get turned down a lot by women. That's okay. We get turned down too. You would be surprised.
Guess what? When I met my husband, I was very damaged. I was very damaged, and I had a lot of trauma and a lot of things that I would have worked on myself. But I was so young when I made that decision that I had to work on it in the relationship. But I worked on it in the relationship without prompting from my husband.
That's good.
But if we gonna be really real, love my husband, he didn't even think to raise his emotional IQ or think that even mattered until he saw me. Until I said, I need you to do some work. I can't carry this forever. Because I'm a second wife. So after your first marriage fails, and this is also on me, but after your first marriage ends, that should be a red flag, a blaring red light that I have work to do. And I don't even hear about men taking that stance in a divorce. I way more often hear about divorced men who just jump into another relationship and haven't even taken the time to heal from their first relationship, from their first marriage. And then they're surprised when they're on marriage number 4.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if a woman is on marriage number 4, exactly.
Even as a woman, you make that face like, girl.
Yes, the problem is coming from within the house.
You better know it's you.
Real quick.
You need to take several seats
and do some work.
Talk to God.
But why aren't men out there saying the same thing to their boys?
I don't know. I would love for men to really chime in and tell us, because genuinely as a woman, I would love to know that. I would love to know how you guys do handle that, and if you do handle that, or if like, wow, this is a great perspective, and now I want to handle that. I want to get the help that I need. I don't know why people are afraid of that.
Yeah.
Because that's why we need God. I mean, we're imperfect people, and it's like, why not be better? Why not
be better? And
especially when people love you and can point out your faults. I would love for my partner to be the one to point out my faults and not everybody else. That's my safe place. That's my home. That's my partner. So, even my friends, even my family. But I would love to know. But it definitely starts with being open. Yeah.
This is my plug for therapy, because you don't have to have a ridiculous amount of trauma to need therapy and to have something to heal from.
No.
I feel like that.
I just like to go to therapy for self-care. Like,
exactly.
And I'm not even saying that to be funny. I'm dead serious. Not only that I like it, you need it. We need it. We need it.
Like I said. And
God is not the therapist that you go to.
No. Because he can only bring up in you something that's already been deposited.
Yeah.
And that's why he says that we need to protect our eyes and our ears and our. But if you're not hearing that from somewhere else, like I said, pastors aren't out here talking about the Proverbs 31 man. If you're not hearing that, then it can't come up in you. What's coming up in you is what we see socially, which is you need to be better. As a woman, you need as a woman to be ready or to become the woman that a man that you desire would want.
And I truly also believe, thank you God, that men are seeing that now. Men are like, ooh, these women ain't playing. Women have it together.
Yes.
Women are not playing. Oh, back in the day, women weren't able to do this, that, have certain jobs, do certain things, make as much money. We were looked down upon. We were just supposed to be household. Women are the And I love that for us, that we have the same equal opportunities. And I say that because of situations like that, when it does come to your partner or a man in general, where you can't always depend on them, unfortunately. And that makes me sad.
It does.
Because I want to be soft. I want to live a soft life. I deserve it.
You do deserve it, girl.
I deserve it.
And you know what? I was already married when I realized that I deserved it. I deserve to live in a soft girl era. And I don't need to do everything all the time.
You don't.
And I thought I was doing it right.
I get mad when she dumped the trash.
I know you do. But when I thought, because here's a real life scenario. People thought I was crazy and doing the most because I had stipulations for Thomas before we got married, before I even considered marrying him, and before I considered having children with him. I told him that my expectation was, if I was going to have children, I wasn't going to work outside of the home. And people were like, clutch my pearls, Danielle, what are you? It was both sides. It was the feminist who was like, you should be able to do it, and your mama did it, and your mamas did it, so you can raise kids and you can have a full-time job. What are you doing? And then also the other side of like, oh my gosh, why, how could you say that? Like, how could you put that on somebody else. You have to be open. You have to be available. And I was like, even at that young age, I was like, no, I mean, he has to know what I'm expecting. And it's his choice to say yes or no.
Exactly. I don't know why people we're that's why we're so beautiful. God created us and made us all so unique. We're one of a kind. Doesn't make it right or wrong or bad, because this is what I choose for me. This is what I want. Because then now you look at everything in society, from family to friends to strangers to social media, and you see all these beautiful women that are single parents because they didn't have maybe that expectation for themselves, or they didn't go in speaking what they wanted to this significant other, which would have automatically, I feel like, drew the line of respect. Well, if you can't do these things, then
we can't.
And I'm okay if you don't choose me, because then that means you're not the right one for me. And I think that that's just maturity and knowing what you want. Again, a lot of times people get in these relationships and marriages not knowing what they want, so they're moving like the wind.
I agree. It was funny that I was pliable,
foundation,
but I should have had a little more foundation. And but I thought I had it together because people thought the stipulation and the foundation that I was putting out there was too much.
But it wasn't.
It was not.
At
all.
I
had my other, like I told you, my other thing was that I wasn't going to date someone for more than 2 years without getting a ring.
Yeah.
At the 2-year mark, if we haven't discovered each other enough to know that we wanted to be married, then let me go. I'm gonna let you go, because if you're not sure by this point that you want to spend your life with me, then I'm not the one. And if I'm not sure that I want to spend my life with you after 2 years, then you're probably not the one.
Because you'll know, and that's what I do love about men. When men are sure and certain, they know.
They know.
So it's like, why are you just wasting my time? Like, that's so unfair.
And people, you don't even understand how many people looked me in my face and said, Danielle, you're crazy.
No, it's okay.
It was okay, because I didn't change my mind.
Yeah, because look.
I was like, no, I've seen way too many women be in these relationships, and the longer they're in them, the more they tell themselves, well, I've already
like, you're committed.
The time.
Yeah,
I might as well give him some more time. Or, well, you know,
it's
and just basically, yes,
we already have kids together. Late. No one's gonna want me.
And then
I'm a single woman with no kids, and I see women that have been married, divorced, with kids, and already in in relationships, or just women that already have kids and that are in relationships. So I don't want any woman to think because they have kids or have been married that they're not wanted,
or that they're a certain
you guys are doing better than me.
Jesus.
Just saying. It's reality. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm just saying I don't want them to feel that they're not good enough because they have children.
Yeah.
Or because they've been married, or whatever the case may be.
Because you've made a mistake.
Yeah, we're human.
You lived something that and that's why I always say I would much rather fail having known that this was my idea. That this wasn't something I was convinced of. This isn't something that I was swayed to. No, I prayed about it. I sat with it. This is the decision I think is the best right now. And if it fails later, then it's on me.
Right.
But if I let somebody sway me and I go with them and it fails, I'm pissed off.
Yeah, you just don't want to keep making the same mistakes.
And it has to come from within.
That's why I always look at it as a heart posture.
It is a heart posture.
Work your heart, fix your heart.
And we definitely need to always be healing, always be changing.
It's nonstop.
I say it's always, I come from a broken home. My parents were divorced for 10 years and they got back together. But that's a story for another day. But I come from a lot of generational trauma.
Yeah.
And God used that as a true blessing within me, because I have met people who came from, well, my parents have been married for 50 years and we had the picket fence and everything like that, and they think I don't have anything to go to therapy for. And to me, that's just a disservice. It is a disservice to you and everybody else. So I am blessed to have gone through what I've gone through, because I came into this world, I came into adulthood knowing I got stuff.
Yeah.
I got stuff to work on.
Yeah.
So that gave me the kick in the behind to do the work, to be in therapy, to know, to be able to pull out those things that I know don't serve me.
Right.
But people I know that come from these beautiful picket fence families, they're like, what am I going to go to therapy for? And I'm like, girl or man, you don't know how to communicate.
Yeah. Like the simple things. No,
just because your trauma isn't something that you would see a movie about doesn't mean that you don't have it.
Yeah, everything, trauma's different. And a lot of times people overlook adult trauma. All of our trauma is not in our childhood. However, a lot of it does come from our childhood. But we even have adult trauma.
Definitely.
That people don't look at or want to be bothered with or fix.
I mean, adult trauma, divorce.
Yeah, that's adult trauma. Yeah.
Having a child with someone and they leave you. So, look, getting a position that you wanted and thinking that you're going to be a certain place in life and then it fails, you lose a business, that is all trauma that's going to happen to you as an adult that you need to go and talk to somebody about. That you need to repair within yourself before you are prepared to give yourself to another person. The most beautiful thing I have heard, which I'm sure I have said before, I say it all the time, in any relationship, I should do my best to be happy and be healed for you, and you should do your best to be happy and healed for me. It's not the other way around.
It's not the other way.
I'm not responsible for your mental well-being, and you are not responsible for my mental well-being. But when we both come together and we're both working on ourselves continually,
oh, that's beautiful. That's what partnership is.
That's what partnership is.
That is what partnership is. And because you are in a marriage, what do you think? Do you think that it's okay, or do you think that, are you against healing another your person, or healing a man, or fixing a man?
I'm totally against it. If I would have known what I know now in my 20s, I would be in a different position. It's been really, really hard for two broken people, because I'm not, like I said, I was broken coming into marriage. My husband was broken coming into marriage. And we have had to really work hard.
Yeah.
And part of what I've seen in really working hard to repair yourself is that it doesn't go at the same rate.
That's why I said, I don't remember, I think in one episode I said, sometimes you may leave your partner. One may be on their way to the top and one still may be,
Yeah.
You don't always move at the same pace.
Not at all, especially if one person gets started before the other. Because I cannot want you to be better for you.
You don't want to be better for yourself.
Exactly. So, no, I definitely think it will be smoother and happier for two individuals to be responsible for their own repair.
Absolutely. Because I don't know all your stuff.
But you do.
And
if you're not communicating with me, I'll never know all your stuff.
I'll never know. And a lot of men are like that. They keep things inside. Women do too. But men got it bad. They feel like they don't have a safe place. And that, I don't know why they feel it. Well, there's reasons of why they feel that way, but I don't think they should make that an excuse, because there is someone in this world that God has put for them that they can go to and feel safe. And a lot of times it is a therapist, because they're a stranger.
Exactly, and it's so good to be able to talk to somebody who's not who's not
family, who's not going to judge you, who does not want to know your stuff.
Exactly. Because it's somebody you can be completely naked and bare with, and you know that they're going to support you.
Not only support you, help you.
And help you.
You got to do the work.
Yes.
Yeah. This is good. I like this conversation.
This is
so deep.
We got deep today, y'all. We got deep today.
Oh yeah, I would like to know other people's opinions and thoughts and stuff, especially when it comes to the men. Like I was saying earlier, like I want to know, like, who do you guys confide in? Who do you go to, or do you?
I would love for the men to hit the comments and tell us that we're wrong.
And be honest.
Honestly. Oh my gosh, it would make me so happy and fill me with so much joy.
Yeah, don't be offended. Just be honest.
The men would hit these comments and say, you know what? That's not true about me. I've been doing the work since I was 22.
I know.
Kudos in advance to whoever is going to say that.
That's beautiful.
That is beautiful.
Yeah.
And I wish that.
And some people also this is true too, some people also don't know where to go or how to get the help. I would say my advice would be ask people who you know may have therapists or know people. And I mean, you'd be so shocked and surprised of the endless amount of connects you can get, but you have to open your mouth. God will do the rest.
You will. And one thing that, hot take, that person isn't always your pastor.
No.
It's not always somebody from your church.
No,
because
not always.
I had premarital counseling and in marital counseling from a pastor who gave me terrible advice. Sometimes it is best to go to someone who is actually, and your pastor may have a degree in psychology, then that's fine. But just because he read his Bible doesn't mean that he is ready to counsel.
Thank you for saying that, because that's real.
It is.
Not even saying that some of people's pastors can't counsel, but that's very true. Just because he is your pastor does not mean he is prepared or God has called him to counsel you. And people go to school for that.
Yeah,
so they are experts, in that area. So sometimes you got to let people do what they're called to do.
Amen.
And stay in your space. And if you want to do that, do it, but you got to go get the credentials too. And study that out, because that's real. You're messing with their souls. Yeah.
Getting all up in their business.
And then you don't even have you're not even leading them. It's like a blind leading the blind.
Blind leading the blind.
There's no help. So, yeah.
I have been there. I have done that from growing up in the church. I always thought, and I was shown that you can go to the church first.
It's not always true.
It's not. Unfortunately, it's not always true.
So that's another thing. It's good to get into a church or a good community that is good.
That is good.
Discernment. I'm going to keep saying discernment because that's what I've been working on lately.
Yes.
Just knowing what you're putting yourself in. Again, you got to remember, a church is the people, which is us. It's not the building, it's us, the people. And all of us are in there. It's a hospital. We're all imperfect people, including the pastor, including the leaders. They're no different. We shouldn't look at them as they're a god or any higher than any of us. We're all equal. It's just, again, they have been called to do that work for God, and it's not something they should take lightly or be playing around with, because their standards are held higher in God's eyes with that, because you're messing with his flock. But yeah,
you know what? And this may be a topic for another day.
It will be.
But sitting here thinking about that premise, the majority of the pastors that I've sat under have gotten divorced.
It's just unfortunate. I will not be a statistic of divorce.
Look,
when I get married,
Thomas and I are committed to the same exact thing, but, which is a real big but, we also aren't just staying in it to be in it.
Exactly.
We're not staying in it because we've decided we're not going to divorce.
Yeah.
We are staying in it,
crazy.
Doing the work to continually heal ourselves and continually work on getting onto the same page and staying on the same page.
Yeah, it's the
because
same.
we're exactly.
It's the same.
We've been on the same page before.
Dude.
But, you know,
what happened?
You in another chapter. I don't know. What's going on right now?
You're ahead of me. You're reading ahead of me.
You're reading ahead. We gotta be in the same book
We
club.
gotta do it together. Yes, book club. Anyways, this was great. We can't wait to hear from you guys. Please leave
Yes,
comments.
we really want feedback on this topic.
Yeah, we do.
What do you think about it? This is just us chit-chatting.
Yeah. Well, we'll actually have an episode when it's like really like that, so we can bring somebody on.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, that would be really fun because I'm gonna be like this the whole time.
Yes, and if we have other questions that we can ask,
the expert. Yeah,
that would be. It would give us such a more well-rounded perspective.
Yeah.
So please don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, comment. Please give us feedback because we would love to hear from you.
Yes, we would. Thank you so much for joining.
And you gon' have to pardon my peace. Tell me how you like it. I know you excited. You gon' have to pardon my peace. You know we be vibing. All of you invited. We gon' get it pardon my peace. It's where you need to be. We got the latest tea. Come get this game for free. Yeah. We just speaking the truth, so sit back, take a seat. You gon' have to pardon my peace.